Today we're going to be doing character design critiques. If you don't give me information about who the character is and like where they live in the world and whatnot, I won't be really able to give you a good critique. Because obviously, say you give me a character design that lives in a fantasy world, the design is gonna be different than one who just like lives in the modern day. I don't go backwards, so if you didn't give me enough information to begin with, I'm gonna be skipping your character. The way I've been doing it is I first tried to edit for character design and that didn't work. And then I tried to redraw from scratch. I tried my best to mimic the art style of the original creator, but as I've learned, I'm terrible at drawing anime still. Even though I spent 10 years of my life drawing anime, I'm still bad at it. Yeah, so I'm gonna pull up the information the artist gave us so we can all read it together. And you in chat are also welcome to give some ideas. So I love being, collaborative. So you guys are part of this. If you're gonna come in here and bash somebody's art or say some mean things, I'm gonna time you out. No being mean. Okay, first up we got Velocirooster. So if you guys haven't seen Velocirooster's art, but they draw birds like I've never seen a bird before. So get excited. Their wings are insane. I've never drawn this detailed a wing in my life. Okay, so Neophron 20, a mutant created in a laboratory. Whoa, okay, this is dark. Cool, I like it. Man, this is so intricate. I think you've thought a lot about this character. I can tell you put a lot of love into coming up with who this character is. So honestly, I can't say anything about those bird wings. You draw animals better than I have ever drawn animals in my life, so I'm not even gonna touch the bird wings. I don't know if like the weight of metal will drag down the flight. That could be something to think about. I mean, they do put stuff on birds, I guess. You can clip stuff to them. They'll be fine. To their legs, at least. Leather? Ooh, someone offered leather. That's a good idea. Like, these are the hands, right? This is where the hands would be, technically, if they had human hands. But then in the back, it also attaches to the back. Just having a hard time knowing how they would wear clothes. With the way that their wings work, would they be able to put a shirt on like a human puts a shirt on? Because to me, it doesn't look like they could, right? Maybe something that like drapes, like a wrap, like maybe it's like a big cloth. Because I feel like pants, that's fine. Like you could do this. The bottom half is fine. I wonder if it's the top half that may need to be like some sort of special tailor-made bird thing. So it's both the shoulder and the breastplate together, which means putting on a shirt that just has holes in the shoulder would make it impossible to put clothes over the wings that hit the back, right? Because the breastplate would not have a hole. A good exercise is to draw your character wearing each layer of clothes. So you start with the under layer only, and then you do another drawing of the character wearing the layer over that, right? That way you can understand the full outfit and how it, like, think about like getting dressed in the morning. Imagine how your character gets dressed, especially if you have a lot of layers, because that's gonna help you figure out how the layers work. This part could be like a necklace, like a chainmail necklace thing, kind of, that you put over it. Ooh, somebody said chainmail scales that look like feathers. That'd be sick. That's really cool. I mean, I guess it's how deep into this do you want to go? I mean, at this point, you're already drawing such intricate feathers. I feel like chainmail would be a piece of cake for you. I have nothing else to say. You've had this character forever. You definitely put a lot of work into this. I think it's just thinking about the outfit. My suggestion is do a bunch of doodles. Like, just do sketches. You don't have to fully color it. But come up with a couple sketches of different outfits. Maybe try the chainmail. Maybe don't try the chainmail, right? A variety, give yourself some variety to practice with. Your facial design? I think it's okay. I guess I'm not seeing his side view. Maybe if I saw the side view of his face. I will say from the back here, you shouldn't see the beak like this. It would be gone, right? Because he's facing forward. But honestly, his colors are pretty unified. Those are nice colors. They work well together. Red and black always look really nice together. For some reason, his back view, you put his tail feathers out, but then they're like down here. So I would say match it. A good tip is draw it, right? You draw the front view, and then all you do is you copy it, you paste it, and you flip it, and then you literally just trace your front view to create your back view. So the silhouette will stay exactly the same. This is Delta Lupus. She's 15, she's extroverted, she hates shoes. Wonderful. The rule of cool. What is the rule of cool? I have never heard of that before. If it looks cool, I'm putting it on. Oh my god. The rule of cool is funny, but is it working? Your character's really asymmetrical, which might make the silhouette a little cool looking because it's that way, but I think there's just too much happening. The knife and the hair, they're serving the same purpose. If you look at how you drew it, the knife is always lined up perfectly with where the hair is. If you were to remove the knife, there would be no difference in the way the character's silhouette looks. I would suggest removing the knife. I think the bow by itself, I think that serves the purpose you want well enough. The knife is just doing what you have the hair design. For some reason, you need a knife. I mean, I really don't know if they need a knife. It could be one they hold. Maybe you have like a little strap for it, like it's on a belt of some kind. I think it being on the hair, one, it's like uncontrollable because the hair is going to fly around a lot, right? It has sentimental value. Yeah, okay. I don't think you have to remove the knife completely. I just don't think it's working as part of the hair piece. It's so loosely tied and it's probably made out of heavy material, right? So it's going to be dragging her head down as it moves. And there's nothing on the other side of her head to even the weight, right? So she's getting pulled in one direction at all times by something heavy on her head. Necklace, that could work. A necklace could work. If it was on the other side of the hair, it might be a little different. Oh, she's got the hair on one side, and then she's got the knife on this side, right? So that way, it's balanced in the design, but it's still asymmetrical because it's not perfectly the same, right? Again, it's still gonna be weighing her down on one side. Also, I'm afraid her hair's gonna fall out. If you have such a heavy thing tied to your hair, like that's how you lose your hair. Oh, a leg strap, that's cool. Be like a little halter thing on the side that you could put the weapon in. That would be cool. I like that too. For the rest, I mean, your colors are pretty nice. May I ask why you have so many shades here? Are these showing us your shadows and your highlights? When I look at her character, it only looks like you're using like 5 colors. They are shadows. Okay, good. I was gonna say, like, her palette looks like she has very small amount of colors. If you're gonna draw the character's palette, this goes for everyone, only put the base color. All of those shadows and highlights are not needed. You don't need to add that to your palettes. Just give me the flats. Shadows will change depending on the lighting, right? So like, it's not always gonna be the same color of shadow. The color of her stocking. I did not realize that they were stockings at first. I thought she was wearing weird socks. I don't know, maybe you just made a mistake in the line because this color of the top of the stocking is very similar to a skin tone. So it kind of just looks like her skin tone changed. Why aren't they just pure white? If you make it like the white of the shirt, not only will it like add like a connection between the shirt and the bottom half, because there's no white on her bottom half, but it'll help separate her skin from the leggings and it'll make it more obvious that they are leggings. The large amount of white hurt your eyes? Well, then don't use a pure white. Use an off-white. This is kind of how I think these crits are gonna go from now on. I'm just gonna kind of tell you my ideas because it's kind of hard for me to recreate a character design. Whoa, I only now looked at how many people are here. Hi, everyone. Oh my God. There's a lot of people here. What the heck? Viewer jump scare. I was not paying attention. Sagittarius, we're going for the horse vibe. So we got centaur. There is 13 colors. So someone asked what color unity is on one of my TikToks. This is what color unity is. Making sure that you're reusing colors in multiple spots throughout your piece and you're not using too many colors so that the whole thing feels like it's a unified character design. I've honestly had characters that like have quite a few colors. You can get away with it. 13 is probably reaching. What I will say is usually if you have 2 colors that are pretty much similar enough, you could probably just put them into the same shade. The yellow of the feet, why not just make it the same yellow that the tail is? Because that gets rid of a color. Like, why do we need a new yellow? We already have a yellow in the hair design, so let's just use the yellow again. So the shirt color is super close to the color of the horse body. Again, why don't we just reuse the hair color? I know someone brought up Genshin earlier. Genshin color palettes aren't really that crazy. If you really look at a Genshin character, like, I don't know, Chongyun, very much whites and blues and maybe a little yellow. That's it. It's very simple, actually, the amount of colors being used. And they reuse the same color quite a lot throughout his design. So although his design is very intricate, like he's got a lot of stuff going on, it doesn't feel like it's misplaced. Like all the character designs have color unity. I mean, someone brought up Kaya earlier. Kaya also doesn't have that many colors if you really think about it. Like, he's very unified in his colors. Again, lots of blues, right? A little bit of white, some black, but like it's not like overwhelming with the amount of colors. It's really unified. And that can also come with using different shades of the same color. If you like monotone colors, if you pick one solid color to stick with, that can also help too, where you just use different shades. Look at the small one versus the one I just colored in. They're really not that different because the colors that were used in the left one, pretty much what was being used already, but just a different shade of it. So let's just like reuse a color you've already got. It'll simplify it a lot more. The bow be the same as the shorts? I don't know. That one might not be it. I would say maybe saturate it more. This is Archer. She's the general of a powerful alien army. Highly regarded for her skill, fun and goofy, but serious when duty calls. She doesn't think that the old design colors are giving her the space soldier, so... I've seen them doing quite a few redesigns on a lot of their characters as of late. Especially, like, once you've drawn a character for so long, and then you start to notice that, oh, maybe I should, like, change the design a bit. It's really hard to leave what you've known for so long. I guess the new outfit doesn't fit the old skin tone. Thoughts on red skin, green hair? If you're really unsure about colors, what I like to do, I'll sketch a character design, right? And then I'll duplicate the line work or the sketch, and I will color it in 4 or 5 different ways. I actually did that with me, Meridium. I had 4 different color palettes of me, and then I actually asked a bunch of my art college friends for their feedback on like which palette looked the best, because I couldn't pick by myself. I was struggling. It's always good to have a bunch of art friends, or friends who know art in general. Literally, anytime any of my college friends are, like, grasping for help, we will send something. Sometimes you just need someone else to look at your stuff to tell you how to do things. It's needed. Okay, so we're taking a little bit from that old design, too. I mean, green and red are complementary, so it's really hard to go wrong with those colors together. And I think the yellow of the chest plate is nice. I'm afraid her skin's very dark already. I'm afraid if we go too dark, they're gonna be too similar in shade. Okay, well this is just a basic thought. Basically what I tried to do was take some of the ideas from this old one. This is the old character design. And all I did was adjust the colors, so it just takes the original colors and just changes it. So it's not like I'm color picking, so obviously fine-tuning the exact color tone is gonna be something that Golds is gonna be able to do by themselves. But this just gives you a general idea of what the colors could look like. I don't know, I think you could find a way to combine your two together. Blue skin, I feel, has been done quite often with aliens, so I don't know. The red skin does give a little more of a devil look, if you're okay with that. But red and green are complementary instead of blue and green, so you could take some of that original color that you had and bring it into your new idea. Otherwise, the outfit, I mean, I like it. It's definitely more powerful army general than your old drawing. If you designed what the other parts of the army look like, because then you could have like a uniform. Maybe different ranks have a different piece, but their outfits are vaguely similar. Yeah, that's it. Try to think of the rest of the outfits. Okay, we're good. Yay! Moving on. Okay, this is Paulina. Hello, Paulina. She's 11. She lives in the countryside with her grandma. We found her in a bird's nest when she was a baby. She wants to be a traveling bard with a band. She likes to play the mandolin. Oh, this is cute. I think that this part most likely could be the same color as the sleeves and whatnot. And since you're using that red so often, let's just... I can't tell if it's supposed to be a hood or a hijab. Either both? Is it both? I can't tell. But I'm pretty sure that this kind of outfit comes from a more like Russian background, right? It reminds me more of like the scarves that the old Russian ladies wear, the babushkas. Well, I wouldn't say that they don't show their hairs. There are some hijab people who wear like the less conservative ones that will wear the wrapping a little looser. They still consider that a hijab. And then the boots are different again. I think maybe then we can just make the boots that red too. Because that red and that darker color are very similar. Anybody else noticing anything? Honestly, like this is pretty simple. I think it's just the colors again. I wish I knew more about where the outfit came from. Because I don't want to say the wrong thing, you know? I don't know this culture by heart. Okay, this is Xeno. Stick bots are a real thing? Wait, they are? What? These are so goofy looking. God, look at this toy. Chat, look at them. Oh my God. I love their faces. They're so goofy. They look like an error screen happened on their face. I've never seen these before. They're so funny. This is a very different one. Yeah, someone said this is a rare OC. Okay, so he lives in a world where there's magic, and so he gains sentience. Okay, he doesn't good at emotions, no facial expressions. My biggest wonder is why are we seeing the stick on the inside? There's transparent ones? Oh, okay. Now that we look at these characters, they are a lot more neon than your color palette is. Bring up that saturation. If we boost that, it already looks a lot more like the colors on the toy. And in general, I would also say having the monotone might help it too, just in general. I will say he does look like he's made out of goo. The more you highlight it, the gooier it's gonna look. If you want that transparent look, I should actually be able to see the green behind this character. To do that, you have to lower the transparency of your whole thing. I would just watch where you're placing some of these things. The bow is awkward. It touches everything a little too perfectly. Like, there's a lot of tangents going on here. My point I'm trying to get across is I don't know it's transparent. I only guessed that because I saw what the toy looks like. Also, why when he became human, he has one suction cup here. Where'd the other ones go? You drew one of them. And then I would just say maybe work on what your bow looks like. If you want it to be this weird shape, maybe make it even bigger. So it's like really in a way, or you can go for like a more normal bow. The strings we're showing at the joints, yeah, that could help. I think that's exactly what the toy does, right? I would say if you're trying to make something based off of something that exists, do not be afraid to just straight up recreate this and put some hair on it. Don't hold back because you're like maybe afraid it's not gonna look good, or maybe you're like, oh, my art style won't complement this very well. If you're gonna straight up make something look like something that exists, do it. Like, don't hold back, right? If you're making your own toy, but this was inspiration, that would be different. You are straight up making this toy, and as you stated in chat multiple times, is based off a toy you have. That's my advice to you. I hope that's helpful. This is Katya. She's 16 and the daughter of a cult leader. Has never seen the outside world and confined to cult. That was English. She is smart and reads a lot. I think her imagery is a little too on the nose. They don't want you to know you are in a cult when you are in the cult. The point of it is to make you feel like you're part of a community, you know, like you're part of this like group, you know, you're all working together for the same thing, right? Maybe you have the same religious belief that you've come to, and that religious leader could be the leader, but that religious person is coming to you as like a leader, as like someone you can trust. If your cult leader was walking around wearing Illuminati clothing, I think there would be more skeptics in that group. I think all of this imagery should go. It's not necessary. It's kind of overwhelming. If you walked around wearing Illuminati stuff all the time, you would get no one in your cult. She takes place in modern day. I'm gonna get rid of a lot of this. I don't know what's going on with the face makeup. That maybe like the makeup's part of a ritual, but it's not gonna be her daily life. She's sheltered? Why is her hair dyed? If this girl is sheltered in this place, there is no way that her cult leader dad is gonna be letting her dye her hair blue. If you were to walk up to someone dressed to the nines in this fancy outfit covered with like Illuminati symbols and like the third eye and all these things, no one's gonna want to talk to you, right? They're gonna think you're crazy. That's why I think the design is okay, but we just gotta remove that symbolism. And I think she'll work. Le Bon. Her name is Le Bon. She has a penchant for violence and mischief. Okay, they like fancy restaurants. Dislikes authority. Eye patch from a scuffle. And then she decided to design an eye patch. Oh, okay. Okay, she's a fashion designer. That makes sense. I like the big hands. They're cool. Nice separation. Really good. I think there's a great silhouette here. Yeah, that's solid. A+. So I would worry about this eyebrow perfectly touching the hair here. So separating it somehow would be a little nicer. That's a little better. Still gives us the same vibe. This one's a square, but this one isn't. So I would just make this a square foot. That would be good. I like the idea of her designing an eye patch. I don't know if this is the design. I would suggest working on it a little bit. We're talking fashion designer here, right? Like, she probably comes up with some real nice stuff. We got an eye patch. Usually if you think of like a designed eye patch, maybe she like bedazzled it something, or like it's got like stuff falling, like, I don't know, trinkets coming off of it. Maybe it's made out of cloth or something that's got, maybe it has like frills on it. I don't know. She doesn't look like a frill kind of girl. Maybe she hand sewed this, because right now it looks like tape. Does anybody else feel that? It kind of just looks like she put tape over her eye instead of it being something that like a fashion designer would spend a long time coming up with, because there's a lot of different types of fashion out there. I'm sure you could go on Pinterest and find like eye patch designs. When in doubt, use Pinterest. She can turn into different versions of her, depends on what she wants to be. No hate to this person, but I think the problem I'm seeing is in the story of the character. Writing for your OCs, like this, the world and the character and whatnot, is probably more important than what they look like. Because if your backstory, if your plot is a garbage mess, it doesn't matter what your character looks like, because nothing about them is going to make sense no matter what. Also, if there's too much going on in your story, you can't really refine the character to look a certain way, because you're adding like 5 million things. They're saying that one, she has the power to turn into other versions, which isn't really specifying. And what does it mean by other versions of her? And then she has a demon inside of her also. Was she born a demon? Was she cursed by somebody? Was it her own fault that the demon got into her? Is the demon the thing that's giving her the powers? It's your first OC was edgy and poorly written, hard to look back on. I think honestly we all get that. I mean, my first story had like it had like 5 million characters and had the most intricate plot story of like all these different people, and everyone was like dating everyone else, and they were all like, then they had their future kids that came to the past, and it was just like, what's going on? It was a disaster. None of it made sense. And they all had superpowers, and there was a war between the universes, and the world was, it was terrible. Now, I don't think there's inherently anything wrong with edginess. You could have like a dark, deep storyline, but the plot makes sense. The world is fleshed out in a way that like the universe makes sense, and you can tell the story within that world. And then there becomes a problem with making your characters too overpowered. I don't think there's anything wrong with making like an overpowered character in general. I think you could do it, and I think it's fun. She has a lot of friends, but she has anger issues, and she likes dogs and cats. Like, it's a lot of stuff, but it's all like contradictory. It's kind of all over the place, and the design I'm looking at is just a girl. It's just a girl with, and I don't know, why does she have a crown? Why is the crown floating? Nothing in the description ever told me anything about wings or angel, or she was told devil. Like, why are we getting like, she has a demon in her. Why she got like angel bird wings, right? Like, you know, you got to get rid of the edges, carve it down, right, to the main core elements. I think the design will follow. That was it. We made it to the end, guys. And I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks to everyone who joined. Bye!